Have you ever felt the subtle weight of passing years, wondering about the purpose of this later chapter of life? What if the very act of growing older is not a decline, but the greatest spiritual gift awaiting discovery? My dear friends, please find a comfortable space, settle in, and allow your breath to deepen for a few moments. Imagine we are sitting together in a quiet garden, perhaps beneath an ancient banyan tree, the soft breeze rustling through the leaves, carrying with it the whisper of timeless wisdom. There is no rush here, just the gentle unfolding of a shared moment, a conversation from the heart. I often contemplate the various seasons of life, much like the seasons of nature, each with its unique beauty, its own lessons. And it seems to me that this season, the one many of you are now experiencing, is often misunderstood, perhaps even feared. Perhaps you've noticed the subtle changes, the quiet shifts in your physical form, or the way the world sometimes rushes past, leaving you a little more on the sidelines than before. Do you sometimes find yourself looking back, a touch of wistfulness in your heart, remembering younger days, the energy, the opportunities, the roles you once played? It is perfectly natural to feel such things. These feelings are not a sign of weakness. They are simply the honest echoes of a life well lived, a life that has seen many sunrises and sunsets. Yet, what if there was another way to look at this stage? A perspective that transforms perceived losses into profound gains? A perspective that reveals a hidden treasure within the twilight years? In the quiet monasteries, we speak often of the cycles of existence, of birth and death, growth and decay, much like the moon waxes and wanes. There is a story, a simple teaching, that comes to mind. It is about a young monk, full of zeal and ambition, who came to his master with a troubled heart. He spoke of his fear of aging, of the loss of physical strength, of the eventual decay of the body. He saw only diminishment, only an ending. The master listened patiently, his eyes full of compassion, and then he asked the young monk to fetch him a specific leaf from a tree in the courtyard. Not just any leaf, but one that was fully mature, vibrant green, yet just beginning to show the first hint of autumn's touch, a delicate golden edge. The young monk returned with such a leaf, holding it gently. "Look closely at this leaf," the master instructed. "Is it not beautiful, vibrant, full of life, even with that touch of gold? This leaf has seen countless suns, weathered many storms, nourished the tree through its own being. It has fulfilled its purpose. Now, compare it to a tender, newly sprouted leaf. That young leaf has potential, yes, but it lacks the richness, the resilience, the story of this older one. Which holds more wisdom in its fibers, do you think? Which has truly learned to dance with the wind and the sun?" The young monk, holding the leaf, began to understand. He saw that the aging leaf wasn't just fading. It was radiating a different kind of beauty, a beauty born of experience. This simple tale holds a profound truth for us. Our later years are not merely a slow fading, but a profound ripening. Imagine a fruit plucked too early. It is hard, sour, unready. But left on the branch, exposed to the sun and the rain, it gradually softens, sweetens, its flavors deepen and become rich. We too are like that fruit. The experiences of a lifetime, the joys and the sorrows, the triumphs and the trials, have ripened us. They have given us a richness, a depth, a flavor that simply could not exist in earlier stages. Perhaps you find yourself with more time now, time that was once consumed by careers, raising families, the endless demands of daily life. Have you ever wished for more moments to simply be, to reflect, to truly understand yourself and the world around you? This gift of time is precisely what this stage offers. It is an invitation, a gentle beckoning, to turn inward, to explore the vast landscape of your own consciousness. It is a time for introspection, for contemplation, for deep spiritual work that was perhaps impossible amidst the clamor of earlier decades. I remember another story of a successful merchant who spent his entire life accumulating wealth. He was always busy, always planning, always chasing the next deal. He had little time for his family, even less for himself, and certainly no time for quiet reflection. He believed that happiness lay in constant acquisition. One day, quite suddenly, he fell ill, and the doctors told him his remaining time was short. Lying in his bed, stripped of his ability to work, to scheme, to accumulate, he looked out the window at a single bird building a nest in a nearby tree. He watched it for hours, mesmerized by its simple dedication, its unhurried movements. For the first time, he truly saw the intricate dance of life around him. He realized that all his life he had been so busy doing, he had forgotten how to be. In those final weeks, he found a peace he had never known, a profound understanding of what truly mattered, not in the accumulation of things, but in the appreciation of each passing moment. This story reminds us that sometimes it is when the external demands lessen that the internal world truly awakens. The freedom from the insistent need to achieve, to prove, to acquire, opens up a spaciousness within. What will you do with this precious spaciousness? Will you fill it with distractions, or will you use it to cultivate the garden of your own spirit? This is a choice, a powerful choice that older age presents. One of the central teachings in Buddhism is anicca, the principle of impermanence. Everything is in flux, everything changes. As we age, this truth becomes undeniable. Our bodies change, our roles change, the people around us change. This can be a source of discomfort, even suffering, if we resist it, if we cling to what was. But what if we embraced it? What if we saw impermanence not as a curse, but as a path to liberation? Imagine a river, constantly flowing, never the same from one moment to the next. If you try to hold on to a single drop of water, it will slip through your fingers. But if you allow yourself to flow with the river, you experience its power, its journey, its ultimate destination. Aging is like that river. The loss of physical prowess, the changes in appearance, even the passing of loved ones. These are the currents of life. When we learn to let go of what was, when we stop clinging to the image of who we once were, we create space for who we are becoming. This letting go, this release of attachment to the transient, is one of the greatest spiritual lessons. It teaches us about the true nature of reality, and it frees us from the suffering that comes from resisting it. Perhaps you've experienced moments of grief, of profound loss. Who among us has not? These experiences, though painful, are also powerful teachers. They force us to confront the fragility of life, to appreciate the preciousness of connection, and ultimately, to understand that while forms may change, love endures. They soften our hearts, deepen our capacity for empathy, and connect us to the shared human experience of joy and sorrow. This deepening of understanding, this increased capacity for compassion, is another profound gift of growing older. I recall a conversation with an elder monk, his face lined with countless years, his eyes sparkling with a gentle wisdom. I asked him, "Master, what is the greatest lesson you have learned in your long life?" He paused, sipping his tea, and then replied, "It is the lesson of kindness. Not just kindness to others, but kindness to oneself and to all beings." When you are young, you are often driven by ambition, by the desire to prove yourself. You may judge others and yourself harshly. But as the years pass, if you are truly paying attention, you begin to see the struggles in every heart, the shared humanity beneath all our differences. You learn to forgive, to understand, and to simply offer a gentle presence. This understanding, born of experience and softened by time, is a true blossoming of the spirit. Have you found that your heart has grown softer with age, perhaps a little more forgiving, a little more patient? Do you find yourself less concerned with trivialities and more attuned to the deeper currents of connection and meaning? This is the blossoming the Master spoke of, a fruit of a well-lived life. The wisdom of an elder is not found in books alone, but in the texture of their experiences, the lessons learned from their mistakes, and the compassion forged in the fires of their own suffering. This wisdom is a light, a guiding presence for those who are younger, even if you do not consciously seek to teach. Your very presence, your calm demeanor, your patient listening can be a profound comfort and guide. And then there is the gift of presence, of mindfulness. When life was a whirlwind of activity, it was easy to rush through moments, to be constantly thinking about the next task, the next appointment. But now, with a little more space, perhaps you find yourself noticing the small wonders, the intricate pattern of sunlight on your floor, the nuanced flavors in a cup of tea, the distant song of a bird. These are not small things. These are the very fabric of existence, moments of pure, unadulterated life, often overlooked in the haste of youth. There's a beautiful story about a revered Zen master who was asked, "What do you do, master, after enlightenment?" He smiled and replied, "I eat my meal, I drink my tea, and I wash my bowl." The student was puzzled. "But master, isn't that what you did before enlightenment?" The master chuckled softly. "Yes, but before, when I ate, I thought of 1,000 things. When I drank tea, my mind was elsewhere. When I washed my bowl, I hurried to the next task. Now, when I eat, I eat. When I drink, I drink. When I wash my bowl, I wash my bowl." This simple act of being fully present, of inhabiting each moment with awareness, is a profound spiritual practice. And the gift of later life is that it often slows us down enough to truly learn this practice, to truly savor the richness of the ordinary. What if you allowed yourself to taste your food with complete attention, feeling each texture, each flavor? What if you truly listened to a loved one, not planning your response, but simply absorbing their words and their presence? What if you watched a sunset as if it were the first and last you would ever see? These moments of mindfulness are gateways to deep peace and joy. They connect us to the timelessness within the temporary, to the eternal now. As we journey further into these years, we also come to understand our interconnectedness in a deeper way. We see ourselves not as isolated individuals, but as threads in a vast, intricate tapestry. Our lives touch others. Our actions ripple outwards. Our experiences contribute to the collective wisdom of humanity. Perhaps you find comfort in your family, in your community, in sharing your stories and your laughter. This sense of belonging, this understanding of how we are all woven together, is a profound spiritual insight. There is an old saying, "No man is an island." As we mature, we often realize the truth of this more acutely. We recognize the support we have received, the love that has nourished us, the wisdom passed down through generations. And in turn, we find ourselves wanting to offer that back, whether it's sharing a kind word, a listening ear, or simply offering the calm presence that only experience can bring. This giving back, this act of selfless contribution, even in small ways, fulfills a deep human need for meaning and purpose. It reminds us that our value does not diminish with age, but rather, it transforms into a potent force for good. And finally, my friends, we arrive at what some consider the most challenging, yet ultimately the most profound gift of growing older, the contemplation of our own mortality. It is natural to feel apprehension about the ultimate transition. Yet in Buddhist teachings, death is not seen as an end, but as a part of the grand cycle, a transformation, like a caterpillar becoming a butterfly. When we acknowledge the finite nature of our physical existence, it has a curious effect. It sharpens our appreciation for the preciousness of life now. The Buddha himself, before his enlightenment, encountered an old man, a sick man, and a dead man. These encounters profoundly affected him, prompting him to seek a deeper understanding of suffering and the path to liberation. It was the stark reality of aging, sickness, and death that propelled him on his spiritual journey. In a similar way, reflecting on our own impermanence can be a powerful catalyst for living more fully, more authentically, more kindly in the time we have. It encourages us to let go of grudges, to mend fences, to express our love, to pursue what truly brings us joy and meaning without delay. What if we approach this final chapter not with fear, but with a quiet curiosity, a deep acceptance, and a profound gratitude for the journey? What if we understood that the very awareness of our impermanence is what gives life its exquisite flavor, its urgency, its sacredness? It is a reminder to live each day as a precious gift, to fill it with conscious intention, with loving kindness, and with moments of pure presence. So, my dear friends, I invite you to see this journey of growing older not as a period of decline, but as a magnificent spiritual ascent. It is a time when the external world may recede a little, allowing the inner world to bloom with unparalleled beauty. It is an opportunity to cultivate wisdom, deepen compassion, embrace impermanence, and live each moment with profound presence. The lessons learned, the empathy gained, the quiet strength that emerges from having navigated life's many currents, these are not insignificant. They are the jewels of a seasoned soul, shining with a gentle, radiant light. May you discover the profound joy in simply being. May you cherish the quiet moments, the simple pleasures, and the deep connections that truly nourish your spirit. May you find peace in the ever-changing flow of life, knowing that within you resides an unshakable wisdom and an endless capacity for love. And may this understanding bring you not only comfort, but a renewed sense of purpose, a gentle strength, and a deep, abiding inner peace as you continue on your sacred journey. Thank you for sharing this quiet moment with me. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful.